Hey everybody, hey Morbid Brain, time to drop a like, okay, thank you man. Glad to see you here, even if only for a minute. Howdy folks, how are you all today? Welcome, welcome, one and all. Hey Meaver, hey Fast Vincent, hey, how have you been man? Hadn't seen you in a hot minute, Vincent. How's it going? Well, it's going pretty well, Void Shadow. Oh boy, oh boy. Today has been a very sleepy day for me. I know how Sleepy Joe feels on a daily basis, because, God, do I feel like a fucking zombie. Hey, Stickmaster Luke. Hey, Joe the Blue. Sorry. Hey, Chief. What have I got planned for today? I don't know. I'm just sort of, like, gonna throw stuff together, and that'll be what happens. There is actually one thing I wanted to look at real fast. Shouldn't take me but a moment. I have some setting material, though I don't know. Shite, I don't know where I put it. Oh, okay, wait. I put it in my Minecraft ideas folder. Yeah, that's where I put it. So, I occasionally will browse, like, just random things, like, God, just crazy things that just strike my interest, like anime, setting material, and things of that nature. It's hard to, like, put into words what I mean. But, yeah, you'll see. It's just, you know, whatever strikes my fancy. Let's put that there. Let's get some... This should do it. Okay. So, yeah. Saw my... Oh, yeah, Fast Vincent. Hey, Guestimo. Yeah, you did a great job, Vincent, with the queue thing. I'm genuinely worried about that. Like, no one can get priority queue. Like, what is up with that? I'm glad I don't have to worry about it, but at the same time, like, how is one meant to play the server at this point? It's a little weird, you know? Like, I can't help but feel that there's, like, some sort of odd goings-on. And then I stumble upon that, admittedly, batshit crazy conspiracy theory. And I'm just like, what am I supposed to think, you know? So, yeah, I don't know. It's just... It's whack. It is just whack. But I hope those who still want to play 2v2t are at least capable of playing it. I'm still not 100% convinced there isn't a, some thumb on the scale action, you know? Someone somewhere has the ability to basically perform retribution. Someone has to. Like, there's no way they wouldn't, right? There've just been too many instances over the years of, like, dumb bullshit just like that. Person A or party A has the ability to take their frustrations out on anyone and everyone indiscriminately, and it just becomes a shit show. Like, it just becomes a shit show. So I don't know. Hey, Beth here. I'm doing all right. This is not equal. Fuck. So yeah, it's whack. Almost guarantee you there's some sort of influence. Yeah, influencing. Exactly. Thumb on the scale. There's no way that there isn't. Someone has more power and is in some way capable of influencing 2B2T. Definitely more power than they should reasonably have. And I know the source, the person in question. I won't say his name for obvious reasons, but like I know the source is someone that is lauded as a schizo. Fair enough. But it does make you wonder. Like, that's the thing, like in my experience, every time something genuinely nefarious has actually been going on, the first people to speak up are almost always the culprits, and the first things they resort to is discrediting their opposition by doing things like calling them schizo, or calling them liars, or they're RPing, or they're, you know, clout chasing, or they're whatever. I often find that is an indicator of guilt. Because someone genuinely not doing anything bad really doesn't have anything to hide and really isn't, like, out to prove anything. And then it becomes a matter of, like, well, you know, so-and-so said. I don't know, it's whack. Stack this 50. Shit, that isn't even, that doesn't even cover half of it. What? There we go. So yeah, I don't know. You're running out of ideas for making a mega base. Mine was okay, sure, go right ahead. You do what you gotta do, May. If I do something cool, like I love the fact that there are people out there who will take advantage of it, or they will incorporate it into their own thing. You know, something like that. Like, it doesn't have to be, I own it, you better credit me, blah, 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 blah. Like, the fact that anyone out there can take inspiration from anyone, least of all me, like, I'm alright with that. I like the idea of there being a sort of, like, almost continual loop of person A influencing person B, influencing person C, influencing person A, and having it all come full circle. I love that. So, like, it might be a good idea to say, you know, oh, I was inspired by so-and-so. That might not be a bad idea to, like, just be forthcoming about it. Like, I'm proud of the fact that I haven't had to take any ideas, like, directly, with the exception of this. And I'll be the first to admit it. I'll be the first to come right out and say it, that I did not come up with this. The Northern Lights here, the Aurora. I did not make these. I took these whole cloth from an adventure map called, and this is like really, really unfortunate naming, but like it was made in 2016, 2017, so you can't really like hold it against the map creator. The map's name was the Corona Trials. Don't you mean 2020 and 2021? Yeah. So like, I played the Corona Trials in 2017 with some of the Spawn Masons back when it was still cool to be a Spawn Mason. And I think I hosted a Realms or whatever, and then this was one of the options, was an adventure map that hosted, or that was the Corona Trials. And so I hosted a Realms, chose the Corona Trials, and we started playing through this, and I thought it was a really fucking cool map. And then I got out into this wide open area and saw this awesome Aurora borealis way up in the sky, and I was like, and I was in the middle of building Space Valk 3. Like, I had already built up to this part right here, the disc park. And I was already like, oh my god, I have to have this. I need this in my life. I need the Aurora. Somehow, I've got to have this. And so I'll admit, about 2 years later, I shamelessly copy-pasted it into the world download. I planned on building it on 2B2T, but I never got around to it, and then we got found, and you pretty well know the story from there. So, like, yeah, taking inspiration from something. And the only reason I took it whole cloth from the Corona trials is because, I mean, look at it. How on earth do you improve upon the Aurora? Like, look at this. Look at how beautiful that is. I couldn't do a better job at that if I tried. Like, you can't make the wheel 2.0, you know? The wheel is the wheel. Fire is fire. It's amazing and perfect pretty much as it is. No one can come along and make a better version of it, you know? There are just some things that are just so ubiquitous and amazing, and I mean, it's just literally torches. Or no, it was originally torches. I turned it into glowstone. But it was originally torches and just glass. Just torches and glass. Like, you can't make that any better than that. So yeah, like, I would have tried to make a better version of it if it was possible, but it just wasn't. So I was like, okay, well, hippity hoppity, that's now my influence. But in all seriousness, like, I wish I knew who made the Chrono Trials. I don't remember if it even gave... I'm pretty sure it gave a name, but I didn't catch it. But regardless, yeah, like, crazy shit like that. Like, influence is really cool. It's not a bad thing to influence people and to say you were influenced by something. Just, you know, be forthcoming about it. There we go. Jack, does World Edit have any basic tools for terrain customization? Yes, kind of. The only basic customization tool that I know of that is, like, worth anything would just be your they're called brushes. I'll go demonstrate a few. They're pretty cool, honestly. I don't really have, like, a good use for brushes. Not out here. They're very chaotic. Hold on, let me drain this water. I might actually have to be in the water. "69 blocks drained." Wow. I couldn't have gotten that on purpose if I tried. There we go. Okay, I'll demonstrate the brushes for you, Guestimil. Oh, hey, Osmobite. Thank you for the $2 stickers. Huh. Yeah, after I noticed they started adding those stickers a while ago. They've kind of gone overboard with them. I'm not really sure what purpose they're meant to serve, but whatever. So yeah, thank you for the donation, Osmobite. You once again being the MVP of my streams. Okay, so for brushes, basically it's BR or brush. And then you apply, I believe, either cylinder or sphere. And then you can basically make any material. So we'll do end stone. Oh, and then you've got to select a radius. It can only go up to 6. And so you have to be holding a tool. So I usually use swords. And so you just right-click on anything, and in line of sight, no matter how far away that something is, it will overwrite all blocks that it touches. Like that. It's really cool. Perfect for creating and sculpting landscapes. And then you can also do something called mask. So in this case, we'll mask air, or no, chorus fruit. We'll mask the chorus flower so that it only covers these now. And now we'll mask the chorus plant. So now that it only will cover that and make it I don't know, sort of alien looking. So it's producing a giant sphere, but it's only doing so where the applicable block is. So like that. So we can just do mask none. Or, well, unmask, rather. And so you can make your spheres everywhere. You can also make cylinders. And that will make, you know, flat cylinders like that. This is good for just sort of like smooth, for trying to extend out everything. And then the final brush that is just absolutely amazing. So this is an absolute nightmare, right? If you were making your own custom terrain, this would not be acceptable. This looks like garbage, right? Fun fact, I've seen and have proof that Housemaster utilized World Edit on 2B2T a few times. Because we've got, like, it may still exist. It may have been destroyed by now. I really don't know. But it was a thing once upon a time. So anyway, so we do brush smooth. And this basically forces all the blocks to sort of smooth down and become... So you can make mountains this way. It's very useful for, like, sculpting these spheres, almost like clay, from lumps of junk into a meaningful terrain like, well, like this. And so I can take something that was once basically worthless and I can turn it into something actually really cool. And I've seen a giant world edited endstone island. It was an artificial island that House tried to make. I want to say it was late 2013 when he did this. And I think he wanted to make more island because people were blowing up the central island. Remember, this was years before 1.9. So, like, nobody had any other islands to go to. And House basically wanted to make new island, I think. So, yeah, it was not really, like, that amazing. But, like, I think you can still see the remnant of House's world edit stuff in the end. It's, like, right off the main island. It's really hard to miss. It's got, like, it looks like it's made of lava cast, or that someone tried to lava cast it. It's pretty obvious, honestly. And then for the holes inside, all you have to do is just pick another material. Whoops. Do I have my... Yeah, I have my Electron. There we go. So yeah, for in here, all we need to do is... per item, per tool, you can assign a brand new brush type. So we're going to do another cylinder. This time I'm just going to do a regular ass stone. We're going to make it 4. And I'm going to mask air. So that only the air is filled in. Oh, whoops, I did cylinder, didn't I? I meant to do sphere. There we go. This way you can fill in stuff. And then using the wand, you can use the replace command to turn all the stone that I filled in here, oh whoops, into a regular end stone. Oh, okay, cool. I didn't know this. You can use the brush in spectator mode. That's pretty dope. You have to be inside a block to make it work, but you know. Shit, that's pretty awesome. And so in this manner, you can fill in any internal area you want, and then just sculpt the outside accordingly. Because, like, there are bits of stone poking out here or there. Obviously, we can go back to this, so then we can go back to the smoothing tool, smooth it all out, and then just use the wand to just select an area. Pause 1, pause 2. And then replace stone with end stone. And there we go. If I bothered to fill in more, obviously it would be more filled in. But in this manner, you can easily just make whatever custom terrain you want, anywhere of any type. And then obviously you can do the opposite. So let's say you're underground. So let's do another brush, sphere, air. We'll make it... Air is a lot harder to work with when you're using it subtractively. See, I can like kind of cut through everything like this, but it's always going to have that sort of sphere-looking texture to it. So it can be a bit of a pain to like make it look good. You try smoothing it out a little bit more, but it will always kind of have a bit of an error to it. Just because the smoothing brush is not like... It's like gravity-based smoothing, and it's not terribly efficient. I keep forgetting you can't break blocks with swords in creative mode. So yeah, this whole place is just like very weird. So yeah, that's how you can use, you know, the swords as a type of brush. Okay, I think that's everything I wanted to demonstrate. That's all I've ever done to make custom terrain. There is another application that makes Minecraft world files from scratch. You don't even open up Minecraft to generate them. It's called World Painter. And World Painter allows a huge degree of freedom. It's really good for like, well, like sculpting an entire world. My brother, because I guess this kind of runs in the family, my brother has been using World Painter for the last few years and is like remaking Final Fantasy IV's world map in World Painter in Minecraft. 2, 3, 6, 7. 3, 6, 7. So 3, 6, and then 7. So he's like remaking Final Fantasy VI's, Final Fantasy IV's, and he plans to do 5. Because like he's really into making stuff in Minecraft, but like not quite the same way as me. 8, 9, perfect. Like I like making buildings and places. He likes making worlds and sculpting an experience, you know? I guess Minecraft making runs in the family. Okay. Let's move this bad boy 5 blocks that way. Ye long must. I remember that. Oh my god, that Elon Musk impersonator. He's like Chinese or whatever. That was so good. Chinese Elon Musk. Like, are there other Chinese imitators of like other famous people? I gotta know. Is there a Chinese Bill Gates? We know there's a Chinese, what's his name? Oh god. John Cena. That's it. John Cena or whatever. Although I know that that's not real. God damn, the John Cena memes were hilarious. My jaw dropped when I heard John Cena speaking in Chinese. I was like, holy crap, he can do Chinese so well. Oh, whoops. Like with the internet being what it is nowadays, I almost can't take stuff like that seriously because like you don't know if it's deepfake or not. So yeah, it's just like... What even? Oh, hey, Charcoal. Am I in a philosophy class? And I'm aware of phenom... No, I'm not. No to both of those questions, Charcoal. I've always kind of seen myself as a philosopher, but not because, like, I want to be one of those artsy-fartsy, high-on-themselves types, but because I feel like I understand the human condition quite well. And understanding the human condition really, it helps you to understand people as a whole. And if you're going to be a philosopher, you need to know why people are the way they are. And I feel like a lot of philosophers today are just like trying to sound cool. And that's not what philosophy is. It's not about sounding cool. It's about making sense of the world from a human perspective. Sometimes that's highly scientific, sometimes not so much. And there's an art to it. And philosophy is a dying art, because most people who try to practice it are retards and do not understand why people are people. They're either social retards, or they are mentally ill, or they are trend seekers, something. There's always something to them. And it hurts to see those types try to assert whatever dumb shit they're asserting, because they don't get it. They don't get why people are the way they are. And so any philosophy they assert will be worthless because it doesn't relate to how people are. If you don't get how people are, then what are you doing trying to understand people? That's what philosophy is. It's the science of understanding people. Or no, it's the art of understanding people. It's really not a science. But it does heavily involve science from time to time, so it's a good idea to have a scientific background as well. Or at the very least, scientific leanings. And that's the other thing. That's the other major component of philosophy. It has to be grounded in reality to be of any use. Because philosophy is only good if it's practical. If it has value to a person. And the only way to have value to a person is for it to be of value. And the only way for things to be of value is for them to be practical. Otherwise, it does no one any good. In which case, what are you doing? Why bother? So yeah, that's just kind of like my take on it. Elon Musk getting that Trump treatment. Yep. I think he's kind of like realized that that's how the elites operate. They play dirty. They destroy reputations. They do their best to sandbag any of your attempts to get ahead. Basically, by not being in the club, you are their enemy. And I get the feeling that Elon could have been in the club, but the nature of the club sickened him. And so he decided, no, fuck that. How large is the file size of this world? Let me look. It's not very big. It's not as big as you might think. Edit. It doesn't show from the screen itself. I could have sworn it used to show from the play screen itself. Alright, hold on, let me go and find it. Oh. where are you at, boy? 822 meg. That's it. It's not even a gigabyte. This world is teeny tiny compared to most things out there. Oh, damn it. I ate into the, undo. Okay, stack, but without air. Because the air, when you're working with World Edit, eventually you realize that air blocks themselves exist. Because in survival, it's literally impossible to ever have or interact with an air block. Air blocks in survival mode, for all intents and purposes, they basically don't exist. But as far as the game is concerned, air blocks are very real. Which means that when it goes, say, for World Edit, if you're trying to manipulate something, air blocks count. They're real. They also move. When you stack something, the air blocks go with it, and that does mean they overwrite anything in their way. So for example, right here, the edge of this thing could have just been sheared off entirely because the air blocks would have just overwritten it. So you learn very quickly to manage how you interact with air blocks and not let it ruin everything, basically. So yeah, just another good piece of advice, I guess. Still impressive size. Yeah, I guess for one singular base, it's pretty impressive. I'm pretty sure Mew and Block Game Mecha and a bunch of other big bases like that blow this place out of the water in terms of their file size. But, like, they're also kind of, like, massively spanning areas. So I don't know. Okay, now to get this side on the other side. So once again, we use directionality, flipping it that way. So we should be able to go down here and it should paste and work. Let's test how good my geography is. I mean, you're more than welcome to, Charcoal, but I can't guarantee I'm going to be all that good at it. Name one Asian country that starts with an S besides South Korea. Ooh, give me a sec to think on that one. Let's see here. We have Southeast Asia. Or no, one Asian, so it can be anywhere on the continent. Place air reports. It's Cambodia. Singapore. Damn it. I forgot that's... I'm so used to that being a city. But yeah, that is a whole country, isn't it? Okay. Well, it didn't come to me in time. I'm sorry. Oh well. Saudi Arabia. Yeah, well, Sri Lanka. Yeah, that's another one. I forgot about Sri Lanka. Sri Lanka is very, very tiny. Oh, I heard about something about Sri Lanka lately that, like, is scary but also kind of funny. they're a dictatorship. Just so you know, Sri Lanka is a dictatorship. And basically, like, they're burning the houses. The Sri Lankan people are burning the houses of their government dictators. And they're basically like, they're gonna fucking kill them all. And probably rightly so, because they were such an oppressive dictatorship for so very long. Like, I kind of hope it opens the eyes of a lot of would-be dictators out there. Because it goes to show that you can oppress most of the people most of the time, but you can't oppress all the people all of the time. They will eventually fight back. And so, yeah, like, hopefully it's an eye-opening thing. So this is 126. Damn. I need this to be an odd number. So yeah, Sri Lanka is in a very iffy position. I can only hope they manage to, like, wrestle control of their country back from their dictatorial overminds and get power back to their people. Let's go on this level. This should be a nice middle level somewhere. Zaire? No, that is not. Or wait. Oh shit, that may have been the answer to something. I did not see it. Okay, starts with an S. Saudi Arabia. No, I already said that. Okay, second question is going to be, what is the Congo's old name? Zaire. Oh. No, I would not have known that. That's more world history than just geography. So that's what, 50, so that's 62, 69, 63. 63, here we are. This is the block I wanted. Okay. So that's where I will have the centermost pillar. It'll sort of like wrap around here, and then I want to have some side supporting pillars, like framing it. So how much room do I got to work with? 62 or 61? I won't count the obsidian. So 61, so 30. The 31st block is my middle. Right there. Anyway, Space Valkyria is an example when someone makes something survival. I did some building off camera. Yeah, well. I mean, you gotta wonder, don't you? How much of that building off camera was done legit sometimes. I know some people are really like no life. Oh fuck. They are no life prone. I know I used to be that way, but I don't really have the time to be that way anymore. That's how I made the first Space Valkyria, funny enough. I just no-lifed most of it. What is Turkmenistan known for? Well, I know they were former Soviet Union. Are they known for the Chechens? No, that would be Chechnya. I know they're Muslim. I couldn't really tell you much more about them than that. Autocratic government, large gas reservoir. Okay. Island of stability and the rest of sense. Ah, no wonder. That's why you never hear about them. They're very stable. Most other Asian countries tend to be hit or miss. Whatever, let's break this wide open. Okay. You forgot they were former Soviet state, yeah. That actually, speaking of their gas reserves, that's probably a good reason why they were a former Soviet state. The Russians wanted it. Because, you know, they've got lots of fuel demand in winter. whenever the really cold winters blow in, I'm sure their need to heat their homes and stuff is very, very demanding. And so getting a lot of free or easy natural gas from a former state / ally is probably an easy bid for them. Although nowadays, who knows? Okay, so I kind of want to make something of like a jutting out platform. Coming out from this wall here, and have it lead up to and be a frame for the giant tower that's gonna come out of the top here. Anyway, what country borders North Korea and Finland? Oh, well, yeah, it's China. Or no, sorry, it's Russia. I don't know why I thought China. Sorry, it's Russia. Russia borders Finland and North Korea. Because, like, I don't know why I thought China. But, I know that it's Russia because Russia was threatening Finland, along with Sweden and all the others in that area, to not join NATO, which is the exact same reason why they invaded Ukraine. So, like, yeah, I keep forgetting they're just so goddamn big. But yeah. Yeah, that one was pretty easy, I won't lie. South Korea, Sweden, and Russia. What is Obama's last name? Obama is his last name. Barack Hussein Obama. So, I mean, that was his last name. We usually identify heads of state by their last names. Usually it's out of respect. Sometimes. Other times, not so much. But yeah, no, Obama was his last name. Unless he had, like, a series of names, and that was not... That's just not common knowledge. That could be the case, but I doubt it. South Korea and Sweden. Okay. Mongol pro tip: invade Russia from the south instead of the west. The Mongols did that, huh? I'm pretty sure that wouldn't work today, but okay. Technology has kind of sort of surpassed the Mongols. I'm sure that worked when the Mongols were the most dominant force in the area, because this was a very long-ass time ago. Pretty sure that wouldn't work today. Oh boy, name the conflict in Angola during the Cold War. Angola, was that... Is that in the Balkans? Isn't that the Balkan War or something like that? I could be mistaking that for another conflict. But that was during the Cold War era. I was too young to pay attention to a lot of that. Pending independence of one of those colonies, Angola led to the Angolan Civil War. Ah, okay. Nah, Angola was never important enough for anyone to, like, pay attention to it over here. Angola crisis of 74-75 ultimately contributed to this... Oh, I thought this was in the 90s, not the 70s. Hey, Poncho Hamster, how are you? Promise you won't fall asleep tonight. No, fall asleep. Fall asleep with your autoplay on. That was a good idea. All of you, okay? I need you all to fall asleep listening to my VODs and have autoplay turned on. That way more people will get recommended my bullshit. Won't that be cool? No? Yeah, I didn't think so. Okay. Who's the dictator of Zaire? I don't know the dictator of Zaire, I'm sorry. I don't know hardly any of that, because it was never that interesting to me. Can't fall asleep with your headphones on. Ah, I understand. Well, Poncho Hamster somehow managed to. And he will forever be remembered for how epic he was. Okay, I want to kind of put a bit of a, some sort of ingrained design here. So that's what, 5, 4, 5. That'll do. No one's gonna start a donation war? Probably not, because I'm not worth starting a donation war over, first of all. But also, like, that was a one-off type thing. I don't see that happening again. At least not anytime soon. I'm sure someone will get the idea later, but, like... don't encourage that. People really will start that. Anyway, it was Mobutu Sese Seko. That name actually sounds familiar. I want to say I remember hearing about him in either school or in some sort of... maybe it was on the news many, many, many years ago. You tend to hear about those types every now and then. Dictators rarely stay 100% off the radar. They tend to crop up every now and then. Even if you don't hear about them a whole lot, they do tend to, you know, stick around and linger like a bad odor. Because, you know, they're dictators. Like, they have the absolute rule over an entire nation. Odds are very good they're not going to be nice about it. I've literally heard of only one dictator ever who was a nice person who at some point, I forget when, he was an African dictator. He ended up turning, willingly, he turned control of the country back over to his people. That happened literally once in, I think, all of human history. And I'm pretty sure something like that'll never happen again. That's like your, I don't know, how would you describe that? That's like winning the lottery 50 times in one day, you know? I really don't think anyone is ever going to be that generous and kind ever again. This is just an era of accumulation of power now. I really don't see people not continuing to accumulate it. The next few years are going to be very interesting. And I mean that in the Chinese curse sort of way. I don't really mean that in a good way. There's an old Chinese curse, may you live in interesting times. And by golly, I do believe we are. Scariest dictator was Pol Pot, yeah. I've never actually heard recordings of Pol Pot or Mao or any of the really, really bad ones. But, I imagine they had, like... they had a way to really, like, snap you to attention. Because, you know, I mean, they're dictators. Like, there were constant, you know, you had to be present. You had to mourn, had to wave, had to participate, had to be happy. You know, all that. Like, that was a common thing in the Chinese dictatorship. You had to be as unbelievably patriotic as possible. It's still that way in North Korea. Very sad. I think there was a several week-long mourning period when Kim Jong-il passed. I almost said Kim Jong-un. I wish. Oh, I wish. But no, it was his father. And there was a several week long mourning period for Mao, I believe. Or something to that effect. Those people are all sycophantic enough. I don't necessarily doubt it. Okay. Actually, I think I'm gonna shift this up a block. That way I can have a sort of underside, I guess. I don't know, I just wanted to have it. Anyway, Wimptastic Stan killed around a third of his population and literally kept skulls of his victims. Oof. Yeah, they're just... some of the most evil people in history were affiliated with that mindset. Damn it. I can't get up in there. Oh man, the day they added pearls to creative mode. Oh, I was so happy when they did that. I don't know why for the longest time we couldn't use ender pearls in creative mode. It was the strangest thing. Do I use programs such as Schematica when I build things in game? If it's a reasonably complex machine, yes. If it's just stuff that I'm doing, I'll just build off the cuff. I don't need to use Schematica for, like, building design. But complex machinery requires, you know, a lot of accuracy. So I tend to be as, you know, close to whatever the schematics tend to give. Okay. Yeah, I guess this will do. Shite. Meant to do 3, not 43. South Africa. What African country during the Cold War developed nukes but agreed to stop producing them later? Apparently South Africa. I would not have known that, by the way. I'm sure it ultimately doesn't matter, but like... after COVID, I don't think people are going to care too much about nukes as a threat. Because, like, COVID kind of proved that a virus is more than enough to be used as a weapon. They just didn't make a very strong one. But I have no doubt some fool somewhere will try it. We may have entered the era of germ warfare and not even known it yet. Okay. I rather like that. That looks pretty fucking dope. Let us copy and make another version of it. Boop. Shit, not far enough. Mutual destruction. Yeah, well, that was for nukes. For germs, I don't think people get just how dangerous that is. If COVID had any sort of mortality rate to it, it had a very low, almost worthless mortality rate to it. It wasn't even deadly to the people. It was only deadly to the elderly or people who had pre-existing conditions. It was not deadly to infants and little children. Like, little children had a pretty good time of it. Compared to shit like smallpox, measles, mumps, rubella. You know, the things that they give you vaccines for when you're like 2 and 3 years old. Compared to that, how some diseases would run rampant way back when. Like, yeah, if COVID had anywhere near half that kind of a mortality rate, I think we'd be living in a different world. Smart enough to pick COVID-19 fast before anyone else. Well, I don't know that you would want to pick it before anyone. I don't know that you'd want it at all. But I suppose if you have to get it while it's tame or tamer. You know, the tamest that it can be, and not be too bad off by it. I guess, I don't know. I misunderstood you, Riolani. I probably just didn't read your thing. Got a research project where you have a research on pathogen. And you picked COVID as your subject. I see now. Okay. Yeah, I see what you mean now. Personally, me, I got tired of hearing about COVID a long time ago, as did everybody else. And over the course of like the last 2 years or so, in Japanese, anytime we had any sort of like report or I remember we would do articles, actual news articles in Japanese, and we would write a report and then make a presentation on it to demonstrate that we understood the subject of the article. We fucking all picked COVID at least twice throughout the course of the last about 2 years. Because it was A, low-hanging fruit, and B, I mean, it was topical. You know, there was COVID numbers this, COVID numbers that, and it was just like, oh my god. I got so tired of hearing about it in both English and Japanese. I was just like, no more COVID. We all made a mutual pact at the very end of the Japanese this most recent semester. For our final presentation, nobody picked COVID. We made a gentleman's agreement, and it all worked out, but God, was it annoying. Because, you know, you get tired of hearing about that, and yeah. Who wouldn't? Who wouldn't be tired of hearing about COVID? Like, fuck. At a certain point, you know, your tolerance for any one subject wears out. And COVID very quickly hit that tolerance threshold well before I want to say, well before the damn thing was halfway even over. 3 days without sleep will cause hallucinations. Yes, it will. Why on earth are you going 3 days without sleep? Ah, be back? Okay, take care, Wimptastic. Did I take Japanese as a minor? Yes, I did. I wanted to, you know, get as much of it under my belt as I could so that when I'm done and I'm learning the language all on my own, I have enough tools and know-how to actually make acquiring the language more natural and easy. Instead of having to go out of my way to write essays and shit. Which, I mean, fuck that. That's for the birds. I did not enjoy writing essays. I've always hated writing. Always. Oh, hey, Poop Boob, you're... What was my reaction to Jared singing Let It Go? I didn't have one. I didn't know Jared sang Let It Go. But that's cool, I guess, you know. Thanks for the donation, though. You might want to link me, Jared, if it's saved. It may not be. I don't know. Pretty interesting to see Florida require teaching students about communism. Yes, I love that. The horrors of communism. Because the victims of communism go well beyond most any other tragedy in human history. The greatest tragedy to befall humanity has been communism. Hands down. And so, yeah, I'm happy that people are being taught it. It should never have not been taught. The fact that it had to be mandated to be taught, which it's history. That's the thing. Like, this is very real history. And no, like, you can't escape history. You can't bow out of it and say, well, we're not going to mention this or that. I mean, you can, but you shouldn't. You shouldn't be allowed. I can only hope one day that everybody will be able to openly say, yes, communism was an awful thing. And there be no repercussions whatsoever because there are no more communists. But as it stands, there are too many communists now. It's on YouTube. Okay. Well, I might look it up later. I may not care. Listen to a debate about it's synthetic meat or something and how someone brought up communism. Yeah. Well, see, that's the thing. The anti-meat crowd, they are communist for the most part. Many of them are open about it too. That's the worst part. Like there's this movement to basically dissuade people from eating meat entirely, and not by choice, but by force. Because they think they're doing you a favor. They're not. You need to eat meat. It is essential to eat meat to be a healthy individual. Don't let anyone tell you different. You want to know how the human brain evolved to be so gosh darn complex? It's because our ancient chimp ancestors figured out how to harness fire. More than once, by the way. Fire was invented more than once. Or rather, harnessed, not necessarily invented. But yeah, our ancient chimp ancestors were capable of figuring out how to make use of fire on more than one occasion. And in doing so, were able to properly transform both meat and vegetables and all the other, wild things they could get their hands on. And figure out how to nutritionally transform those to where the brain could evolve and develop to take advantage of all this suddenly available nutrition and energy. Well, that allowed the brain to become incredibly dense and very, very complex. To give it this spike in processing power. Well, of course, that brings with it a high energy demand. Well, one of the best and most efficient ways, at least back in the day, to get that energy was hunting, aka meat. Cooking meat, specifically. So, don't let anyone tell you different. Like, meat has a lot of negative health benefits to it nowadays because we pump it full of bullshit. But natural game is some of the healthiest food you can get your hands on. Again, don't let anyone tell you different. Our ancient ancestors got as smart as they were because they ate meat. That is the only way. That's why dolphins and elephants are not super sentient. They're only moderately sentient. They cannot harness fire and cook meat and make it as nutritious as it can be to take full advantage of it. They're only like semi-sentient. If they could take advantage of that, you better believe dolphins and elephants would be on par with humans. It's only because they cannot take advantage of that. That is the genetic, or the evolutionary bottleneck, is meat. Or really, any highly energy-dense food, meat just happens to be the best thing that you're ever going to get your hands on. Because think about it, the animal you're killing and eating to get that meat from, well, no matter what they were, be they a predator, be they a grazer, what have you, that animal has so many stored nutrients in its body from grasses and leaves and other animals. Like, it's some of the best stuff literally in the universe. Like, there have been studies that have shown that fermented meat. Yes, our ancient ancestors also simultaneously learned to ferment things in addition to cooking. The fermenting of meat also was a huge boon in energy and just all of that. All of that stuff was just absolutely essential. And so, yeah, not being able to take advantage of any of that stuff is partly why you only have semi-sentient animals, and that there are currently no other animals in the world that can compete with humans in terms of intelligence. One day, I imagine chimpanzees will catch up to us. That may be a while. A very, very, very long while. But chimps are slowly getting there. It may be a few thousand more years. But they're the next runner-up. So, yeah. Like, you hear these vegan shitheads, these vegetarian shitfaces talk about it, just know they would not have the option to be vegetarian because they wouldn't be human, because we wouldn't be human, if we had stuck to a plant-based diet. We would still be animals living in trees. Now, you can live off of a plant-based diet in the modern era and supplement your nutrient, your daily needs through other means, certainly. But that we would never have gotten to this point is my point. So you have to respect that. Meat is one of the best things there is. And they're never going to admit that. But you need only look at a vegan versus a normal person, and you'll be able to figure out the difference. There we go. Oh baby, I'm loving how this is looking already. Man, ranting about idiots and vegans, man, that really gets my creative juices pumping. Ooh! Well, I just had an idea. Let's see here. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 7, I think. 7? Perfect. Cool. Except maybe dolphins. No. Dolphins are not runner-up. They would be... No, elephants would be 3rd place. Dolphins would be 4th or 5th place. And the reason is, they can only eat what's in the ocean. Which is still good. But again, it's the transformative nature of cooking food that is the difference maker. Chimps will learn how to cook food all on their own. Chimps are already in the Stone Ages. They're already literally Paleolithic creatures. The chimpanzee is the equivalent of the Australopithecine at this point. I mean, they're not equivalent, but they're like the closest analog in the modern day. They're going to figure it out, is my point. Chimpanzees will... They're never going to be able to compete with humans, don't get me wrong. That's not what I'm saying. They're just the closest runner-up to figuring out how to use stuff the way that we are, or the way that humans did. Let's get over here. Nope. Wait, stack? What the fuck? Undo. I think I meant to just move it 7. There we go. Now then, rip Harambe. Well, hey, you know, Harambe was a wild gorilla, and he got a hold of a child. I mean, what do you expect? They can't let an animal go crazy like that. Anyway, but they can't learn as well because they don't have hands. What, you mean dolphins? No, I don't think that dolphins' inability to learn as well is tied to dexterity in quite the same way. I think that's really just being ocean-bound. They're not capable of, like, evolutionary leaps in quite the same way. It's hard to describe what I mean. Place air with quartz. There we go. Do I think humans should teach chimps our methods and risk them being homicidal? We're gonna have to. You're not gonna have a choice. Because, see, the worst of it is, like, when they become sapient, they're living creatures just like us, but they're intelligent, or they have the capability to become intelligent. So, I mean, it would be our duty to help them. Just as it would be your duty to help anyone. Like, you would help another sentient creature, wouldn't you? If they weren't human? You would know that if they were sentient and could think for themselves, like, you would be able to look past whatever they are and accept that they're a creature. Or a sapient being, sorry. Much like you yourself. At least I would. I wouldn't have any problems with it. Okay. I'm liking how this is coming along. If I go right here, yeah, I can make it stretch around to there. Okay, cool. What music do I use in my streams? It's all Dova Syndrome's free music. You can see it linked in the description. So if you like a certain track, it's all there. You may have to comb through a bunch of links, but it should all be there. I have to link those and give credit to the artists who made all that stuff. So you know. Chimps right now are probably looking at us humans like we're aliens. No, probably not. They probably don't have an opinion on us. We're just another thing to them. Another creature. I don't know that chimps are really self-aware enough yet. I remember there being a really interesting experiment with chimpanzees, and that humans, funny enough, undergo this exact same. It's almost like a metamorphosis. Basically, it's where human children, up until I think the age of 3 or 4, have like no static information permanence, meaning they think that everybody knows the exact same amount of information. So like when you ask a 2 or 3-year-old child, you know, they see child A in an experiment hide a toy in a box, and then child B walks in the room and doesn't know that the toy is in the box. And the little 2-year-old is asked, well, you know, why doesn't child B go to the box where the 2-year-old knows the toy to be hidden? And that's because ultimately, and chimpanzees and some gorillas are on this level, they think that everybody in the world has access to the same level of information. There's no difference between individuals. And so, when asked why does another member of their species not go to a hiding spot where, you know, items are hidden, food is hidden, and so on, it baffles them why there isn't some sort of, you know, why don't you know where that is? They don't have an explanation for it. And the answer is simply that they haven't yet gotten to the complexity level where they have separated themselves as individuals from each other. Yet. They'll get there. Now, like I said, it may take a long time, but they'll get there. I can see that being a huge source of contention somewhere way down the line. Chimpanzee rights or something to that effect. Because, you know, they're going to be sapient creatures someday. And like, yeah, someday that means that you can't treat them like animals anymore. You can't keep them in zoos anymore. You can't, you know, blah 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 blah. Like they're not just protected. They're intelligent creatures like us, and so they'd have to be afforded the same rights. And so on. And as their complexity grows and evolve, yeah, then that would definitely be a thing you'd have to watch out for. But this is over 1,000 years, if not 2,000 to 3,000 years, maybe even longer. This is so far away, it's not even funny. But I can't imagine it happening someday, so I don't know. They have collectivist society? How smart are orangutans? Orangutans, yeah, orangutans are really smart too. They're right up there with the chimps. Though I don't think orangutans are in the Stone Ages. They cannot yet make stone tools, but chimps can make stone tools. I'm not joking when I say that. They can literally pass on the notion of a craft from parent to child. That is the literal definition of the Stone Ages. Taking your material, using it to make new tools, and then teaching it to others in your species, others in your tribe. And they can do that. It's both scary and really fascinating. And they use it to hunt. Chimps can hunt small animals. Like, they don't just get bugs and leaves and whatever other things they get their hands on. They can hunt and fight with each other, too. Chimpanzees have been documented to fight literal civil wars with each other, with other tribes. And I'm talking like genocidal civil wars. Like, this is some human behavior shit. And it should scare the hell out of you, but like, I don't doubt that ancient humans did this too. I wouldn't be shocked if Neanderthals, they'd not only inbred with us, but they also fought with us. I wouldn't be shocked if that was the case. I wouldn't be shocked if there were signs of like Denisovans and ancient Cro-Magnon fighting somewhere. Like, I don't know if any archaeological evidence like that would survive the years, but it wouldn't surprise me. Uh-oh. There's the kitty. So yeah, like, it's wild, but nothing in nature stays the same. We have this notion of the world being a certain way, and just about every time you get a preconceived notion as to how the world should be, it comes along and shatters that. Whoops. Alright, I'll let you in, cat. Good grief. Come on in. Good girl. So yeah. Like, chimpanzees are fascinating because they are... Basically, they are a mirror of how we were several tens of thousands of years ago. Which probably means chimpanzees are tens of thousands of years away from being fully sentient. But it wouldn't shock me if that happened someday. I mean, I won't live to see it, so I don't really give a shit. But, like, it's interesting to theorize, you know? Cat go meow. Yeah, she did. Obsidian slabs? God, I wish. Ushir, I like the way you think. Obsidian stairs would be boss as hell, too. I would totally use obsidian stairs here. Real shame Mojang's so resistant to giving us stuff like that. I don't know. Yes, crying obsidian versions as well would be really nice, too. Oh, I knew I missed a side. We need polished obsidian. God, that would be cool. Just like all the other blocks that are polished. Do I like TAMs? I don't know what that is. Okay. So I've got a nice front. Obviously, I'm going to build those towers. Like I said. But the back is just like a flat wall. And I don't want it to be a flat wall. Obsidian pillar, that would be pretty cool too. Chiseled quartz, just obsidian. Yeah, chiseled obsidian, that would be pretty nice. Can't make a custom texture with blocks I've never used? I could, but it would look like shit. I mean, even if I made amazing custom textures, the problem becomes anyone who doesn't immediately load it up is treated to whatever eyesore I end up making. And, like, it's too much effort to jump through hoops just to be able to get custom stuff, you know? I would love for Mojang to just add it. Just make it a default thing. So that everybody's on the same page. There's no... You know, oh, I don't want to use your texture pack, or oh, I'm already using my own texture pack. Stack 50. Like, if it's official, then nobody can really argue with it. That's the other thing. Official things are, well, official. They don't get... They still get, like, splashback. Like, there are obvious parts of Minecraft that are stupid that people have problems with. But that eventually people accept, or at the very least don't like. Nobody's going to get worked up over official obsidian pillars and slabs. And stairs and all that other stuff. Everybody would love that. Pretty universally, I would think. And they've obviously got a good enough texture artist that they can competently make something. Oh, wait. They could do something with this. I know they could. Let's stack this 50 times. Oh. Well, it cuts off things. Oops. Undo. Stack it 50 times without air. Gotta follow my own advice. Okay. Now I need to see if there's a centerpiece. I don't think there is. There's a centerpiece. Hell yes. So that means we have an odd number of these pillars. Which is cool. I'll take it. So... I can do a pretty nice curve, come to think of it. Yeah, that'll work. Okay, wait. Before I screw this up, how large is it overall? $121, okay. Okay, so this should be far enough away. Sphere, stone, 120, so I guess it'd be 60? Oh, whoa. H sphere. There we go. Okay. Now you're probably wondering, well, why on earth did I make a giant sphere? What value does that possess? Ah. There's a light source here. Aha, killed it. Okay. So what's the value in a sphere like this? What do I need this for? And the answer is that I'm going to mark out a center point. So this should be the center of the sphere going in. 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay, cool. Okay. So, from here... Yeah, I'm just gonna outline it like that. I love that you can break and replace in like less than a tick. That is such a cool feature. I hope they never patch this. This is technically a bug. How I can do this, I'm right and left clicking at the same time. And Mojang loves patching useful bugs. So I hope they never patch this. Just because it's just so nice. Could you imagine if you had to wait some amount of time between breaking to be able to place something? I mean, in survival, when you break something with a pick, that's understandable. Because you gotta switch to whatever it is you want to place. But, like, I feel like in creative, that would just be more hindrance than help. That should be the center. Yes. Cool. Alright. Nice. I'm gonna adjust it here and make it work. Okay. Should get rid of everything. Perfect. So now I've got a nice arch. Yes, I know there is a way to generate that with a formula. I really don't want to do that. I could, but I don't want to. Come on, place. Speaking of Patrick Jazz, thoughts on NOCOM's hoax document? Yeah. I really like conspiracy theories because they're usually really interesting or entertaining. And I got to admit, that document was very interesting and very entertaining. Now, whether or not it's true, I haven't a fucking clue. As far as I know, everybody's kind of giving me mixed messages. Some think it's a hoax, there's nothing true to it. Some think there are grains of truth to it. I think there are probably some grains of truth in it. I also don't really care to, like, go out of my way. So, like, at the end of the day, it doesn't affect me. So, like, I'm not really, like, worried about it, you know? I mean, if every word of that doc ended up being true, not a whole lot in my life would really change. Fuck. So, I don't know. I feel like it's a really interesting concept, but that it is ultimately not that valuable. Like I said, it could be completely true. It could be half true, or 2/3 true, or 1/10 true, or something. And that ultimately I don't think it would matter. Okay, undo. If I go from here, oh, it doesn't get erased. Nice. I was worried it would hit the height limit. But, it's shorter than this tower here. Cool. Alright, cool. I'll take it. Let's see here. How many blocks is that? I've got to estimate. Or not estimate, I've got to know exactly. 18, so it's 17 blocks. Okay. I've got to know exactly how many to stack on so that it'll reach the upper part. Alright. That way it reaches the next section. And so from here to here is 8. So 8 blocks. Stack 8 blocks. Ooh, got a ways up to go. If 2PT upset, no, I'm not coming back, you fund. In light of the priority queue incidents that have been going on, I don't think I'll ever play the server. Just because, like, I know I would get priority queue banned for no goddamn reason. Because it's been happening to everybody. So why would I be any exception, you know? Why would I be any different? So no, I'm not coming back because I know it would be a fruitless effort. So stack 2. Whoops. 2, 3, 4. Looks like the moon. Oh, thank you. Well, Death Star is a bit of a stretch, but sure, I guess. That's what, 3 blocks. Late, we're gonna lurk here and watch the movies. Okay, thanks, Stone Cold Killer. Thanks for coming out, if nothing else. Stack 2. Okay, the archway is coming along good. Ooh, 1. 20 bucks a month is pretty pricey. Yeah, it adds up. When you don't feel like wasting your money, because it would be a waste, and the server's just not worth playing on, and there's allegations of corruption, and there's like obvious some shenanigans are going on that are like unexplainable, basically. It's not a good idea. It just isn't. I don't find it to be particularly enjoyable anymore. So yeah, I don't want any of the trouble. I just don't. Bam. Ooh, I like that. Okay. And then I'm gonna connect it up on the bottom. Did I actually get priority banned, or Fast Vincent just used my skin to fill in an empty spot in his video? Probably an empty spot. I haven't played since mid 2020. That's when I stopped paying for priority. And ever since then, I haven't spent a dime on it. So I could be priority banned and not know it. But I mean, so what? Like, if I am, I am. I don't give a shit. I don't intend to ever play the server again. Now, if it was possible to thin out the server numbers to where priority was no longer necessary, maybe. But even then, like, a lot of shit elsewise would still have to change. And we're talking some snowballs chance in hell type stuff. Like, the server is not changing. It may have changed hands, but the people running it are not... They're not willing to give anyone a chance. You know? It's very much one rule for you, one rule for me. That sort of thing. I just don't trust it. You love that arch. I know, I do too. What happened with priority? That's a good question. I don't think anyone's got a real solid answer, is the problem. Nobody really knows what the hell is going on. And whoever is in control of the server, who's very clearly not Housemaster, they are not giving answers. They're being evasive and very, like, hush-hush about it, you know? Oh well. What can you do? Oh well. Oh. If the server died tomorrow, I doubt I would do very much mourning. It would certainly be sad to hear, but like, it's like hearing of a friend or a loved one dying of some cancer or disease you knew they had. You'd just be like, yeah, that was coming. It really wouldn't be like the end of the world if the server stopped being populated enough and then fell off the face of the earth. It'd be sad, but it would be an expected kind of sad, you know? What's noticeably different to this old Housemaster and the new guy? Yeah. The way the old ones would operate versus the new one. Night and day, from what I understand. Heard some stuff too about the Spawn Masons having influence. Yeah. That wouldn't shock me either. Ever since early 2012, 2013-ish, there have been groups and people who have wanted to have their thumb on the server, who've wanted to, you know, maintain some sort of control and have some say in how the server is run. And they're almost always douchebags, if you've noticed. Like, they're not good people, usually. They're always out for their own kind or out for their own tribe, or they want to censor this or get rid of that. And it always goes against the spirit of 2B2T. And like, at this point, it's not 2B2T anymore. We had one last hurrah from 2017 to 2018, and then a little bit in 2019, and that was the end of it. We will never have that kind of hurrah ever again, I don't think. I like that look. Oh well. It was more of a question. Oh, what is noticeably different? The new guy is very dismissive and, like, not really concerned with anything. It's more like answering emails, for example, is just a formality. Like, you're just going to get the runaround. You're never going to be taken seriously. Your concerns are beneath whoever's in charge. You don't matter, is what I'm saying. And the old housemaster would answer your questions. It actually felt like you kind of mattered. And that feeling is long gone. All right, I love that spike look. Anyway, he's never really talked about the bans or anything petty. Pretty much just hiding. Yeah, hiding it. Exactly. Would I delete all space about for $1 trillion? Yo, dude, for $1 trillion? That's more money than most people will ever know. I could always make a new space Valk if I've got trillions of dollars. Now, would that money make me a marked man? That's the thing, like, that's nice on paper, but would that money make me, like, a person of interest in some sort of a case, or would people try to go after me, or whatever? Would that money come with some sort of strings other than the Space Valk deletion? Because if so, then I don't know that it'd be worth my time. The answer may be no in that case. This is some nice, yeah, I love the nice calming music when I can find it. Yeah, he's not really mentioned anything other than the update. Right. Just the general distantness. The general lack of anything. It's just, I don't know. Yeah, you can get priority banned for duping. That's another thing. Like, that almost sounds very Housemaster, where he would actively, like, go after people who would break things. And duping was, of course, always something he hated. So now I've got to wonder. Oh. Who knows? Who knows? You'll be the IRS's wet dream. Oh, I know. That's part of the reason why I'd be very hesitant to do that. Housemaster hates fun. Yeah. Pretty much. That's why if I took over, I would give everybody a 24 to 48 hour window. I would announce whatever the dupe is. Everyone would know. And then you'd have your 48 to 24 to 48, depending on how bad the dupe is. You'd have your window of time. You know, there'd be a Reddit post about it. I would let you know. You wouldn't be caught unaware. I would announce the time, and yeah, and you'd have your chance to get in on the action, and then I would patch it after the allotted time. Because there does need to be some patching of dupes, just to, like, keep people on their toes, if nothing else. But that I can understand giving people the chance to duplicate items. Because, like, look at this base. This base wouldn't have existed in any way, shape, or form if duping had not been allowed. Like, that's silly. That just crushes the spirit of 2B2T, and it's just like, what's the fucking point? So yeah, I don't know. Would I bring back the website? Of course. I'd make the website the hub, and it would be completely untappable. You wouldn't be able to do anything to it. But yeah, I would make the website the hub of 2B2T. You'd be able to see builds that people submit. You'd be able to... I don't know. There'd probably be an official forum. Although I don't know that that would be necessary, because the Reddit's not a bad option for that. I would be very laissez-faire. I would let people do whatever. Obviously, I would patch exploits as they're brought to our attention. I would fire the fucking staff. I wouldn't let them near the server in any way, shape, or form. Because you can't trust them. You clearly cannot trust them. So yeah, there would have to be a lot of changes made. But I would bring back the spirit of old 2B2T. You better believe I would. You would definitely... You all would get the chance to actually experience it as it was. In its heyday. Because one of the biggest changes that I would force is a death ban. Your ass would be banned for a year if you die. So this enforces the idea that you gotta get fucking good. Scrubs need not apply. And if you suck dick, you die. And you get to try again in 1 year. And obviously you wouldn't be able to do illegal things, you know. Yeah, the doxing, you know, nobody would be allowed to dox, like, ever. That would be... You can't do that. I mean, that's a legal nightmare. Doxing. So obviously you wouldn't be able to do that. Nothing illegal, like porn of a certain kind, if you catch my drift. But, like, the general feel of how 2B2T used to be, you all would get a taste of that again. I would almost, I don't know if it would be a wise idea or not, but I would almost want to bring back the spawning in one block. There'd just be one block, and that be world spawn. And maybe even enforce spawn protection. So that a clever engineering person can lava cast world spawn again. And possibly have new people spawn in lava and die over and over and over. Just to give people a taste of how that was back in the day. Because I had to deal with that. Now, obviously, there was no death ban, but you get the idea. Like, just to give you a taste of how life used to be. Yeah, it would keep the weak out. It would weed out the weak. Exactly, Ani. Raise grid? I don't know. Raise grid is too try-hard. But, like, normal 2B2T spawn, like, as it is, yeah, I'm fine with that. So, yeah. Okay. Well, for now, anyway, I think that'll do it for today. I'm not sure if I want to fill in these pillars back here, or if I kind of want to just leave them all spaced, or if I want to put some sort of spacing, like, say, slabs, like this, and just fill it in that way with slabs out to each side. I think I might. I don't know. How does that look from afar? It doesn't look too bad. I don't know. We'll see. So yeah, let's do the thing. This is all that we did today. Everything behind me. So yeah, this is Space Valk 3 for those of you who have not seen it. It's got a lot of crazy stuff on it. Most of these buildings are empty, but I'm going to put some stuff inside them eventually when I get more. Please make sure kill is a thing. Yeah, I would. Don't worry. I don't know why you would want to use /kill when there's a death ban, but yeah. Anyway, so yeah, thank you all for coming out. Thank you all to those who donated. Thank you for giving me a bit of your time and being patient with me. Watching me go through whatever crazy mind-numbing stuff that I do and say. And yeah, I will catch you all next time, tomorrow, for Hardcore with Jack. And other than that, I will see you all later. Y'all have a great evening. Stay safe. Have a good one. I'll catch y'all later. Bye.